Dude, I want to spend about 85 grand upgrading my house. How much will that get me?
That's what we're talking about.
Welcome to the Utah Real Estate Show podcast, the show where two agents and a lender teach real estate best practices by talking through mistakes we've seen and made.
If the builder knows what he's doing, he'll say, hold on. Like, how much do you have cash? How much are you paying for this? Because there's no way it'll appraise. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Do you have amazing carpet from sheep that were named and trimmed by the owners? Yes.
In Italy?
Yeah, right? Like this is amazing. Yes, it's worth it. Can you sell it for this? Not a chance.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Utah Real Estate Show. I am Tyler Kazare, Utah Real Estate Agent.
Jason Christiansen, mortgage lender.
Eric Wist, Utah Real Estate Agent.
And again today, we've got my friend Joel Frost here.
Good to be back, guys. Thank you.
I want to explain, just to give you a little perspective, why we have Joel here. Eric, per month, how many appraisals you look at?
3.
Tyler?
Yeah, like 2 or 3.
I'll hit 8, maybe 15 on a really good month.
Per month.
Per month?
Yeah.
What do you do, Joel?
Yeah, I've typed over 16,000 appraisals in my career.
So you can go do some math. He's seen a lot of homes.
Yeah, a lot of homes, which actually makes him the ideal candidate for what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about improvements. And when you make that improvement to your house, what are you going to get out of it?
Right.
And as agents, we hear this all the time. Tyler, I spent $45,000 on this kitchen.
Oh.
So it's going to be worth $60, right?
Kitchen.
Didn't you just have one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were telling us about?
Yeah.
Tell us this story.
Well,
yeah.
so I was appraising this house.
Oh, okay.
I was appraising this house.
Even better.
I was doing an appraisal, and we walk in, and this guy's like, hey, I got to show you this thing. So I walk over, and he's got his kitchen, his kind of nook where they eat. But over in the formal dining room, he has transformed his formal dining room into a hibachi grill, like teppanyaki style, with bar seating and the full hood up above it. And he's like, how cool is this? He's like, I'm a chef. That's what I do. I'm like, that's cool.
That is cool.
And I'm like, how much does this cost? He's like, well, it was north of 50 to do all this. And I was like, wow.
Wow, indeed.
Yeah. So anyway,
And that wasn't even the whole kitchen.
No,
that was just
the dining area.
Formal dining area.
And he said, "Hey, what is this? What do you think I get back for this? Like, do I get, what is it going to get back?" And I start thinking about it, I'm like, how much is he going to get back for this teppanyaki? I'm like, I don't. And I start thinking about it, I'm like, hold on, I don't think anything. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, actually, I think this detracts from the value of your house because your typical person, your typical homeowner doesn't know how to use a hibachi grill. So I told him, this might detract. If I were to buy your house, I would actually probably ask you to remove it because I'm not going to use this ever.
Did he forcibly remove you from the house?
He was not happy.
Got out his knives.
Okay. He's like, so if I ever sell, it was for a refinance transaction.
Oh, okay.
But I said, yeah. He's like, if I sell, I should plan on taking it with me. I was like, yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Plan on taking it with you and transforming this back.
It comes back to our last episode of kind of bracketing and finding the right comps and stuff like that. How many homes in the area have a $50,000 hibachi grill set up?
That's going to be hard to find a comp.
Yeah.
How many buyers want an hibachi grill?
Yeah, that's a
who's
huge
going to use it?
space.
So if let's say I said that's worth $50,000, his underwriter is going to say to me, you said that gives $50,000. Show me one market sale of a home with a hibachi grill that reflects that 15. They're going to ask me, I'm going to say, I don't have any. And they're going to say, kindly remove that from your appraisal.
Remove the adjustment.
Yeah. So I even if I did try to go out, his underwriter will say, no, that doesn't look good to me.
And every other underwriter.
Sense. If you haven't seen the episode from last week, go check it out. We'll put a link up there. I think it's up there. The question we get all the time, Joel, is which improvement is going to add the best value? I'm going to sell my house
for the buck
in a year, but I have a little bit of cash right now to improve my house. What should I do?
Okay, so I think that there's a couple ways I want to go with this. Mm-hmm. Let's kind of take them one by one.
Sure.
The things that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and FHA are tracking, there's a specific part in the appraisal where I check kitchen, bathroom, have they been updated? And I talk about those rooms specifically. So I would say those are trackable market data points that we can all really clearly find homes that sell for more because they're remodeled that way. So that the easy answer to that is kitchens and bathrooms are going to get you money back the easiest.
Now,
right?
what about like the quality and condition? So we've got granite countertops, we've got like the plasticky stuff, and we've got like the Formica.
Yeah. So that's one data point of an appraisal, and we rate a home. The home we're appraising, we rate, and we give it a rating of Q1 through Q6. And Q1 is like a very nice, very high end, very
quality.
Very high end quality.
Yeah.
Not condition, quality. And Q6 is like they just took pieces of stuff and put it together. It's all new, maybe, but it's just stuff. Yeah. It's not great quality. Very average quality, like maybe even built of like 2x4s, the countertops even. So it's really low quality. So you don't see a lot of Q6s. You don't see a lot of Q6, but you see a lot of Q3s, Q4s, and there's kind of some variation. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to bracket. Go back to our episode from last week. I'm gonna try to bracket my comp selection if I can to use if I'm appraising a house that's a Q4 to use Q4 comps. So, and same thing, condition goes the same way, C1 through C6. C1 is a new home. C6 is probably not livable. It's not livable condition. Like, that's the definition.
Yeah.
So
cleaning your home before an appraiser shows up can help.
Like, the answer to that, here's my answer. There's a correct answer, and there's a diplomatic answer, and there's the real answer. The diplomatic answer is the appraiser should be able to overlook your pigsty.
X-ray vision.
Right?
They should just see through the clutter.
But when I walk into a house and I hold my breath a little, I don't really know how that's affecting my analysis later on. I have to say it's not. But is it? I don't know. Mm-hmm. So versus when I go into a house, the same house, it's vacuumed, it smells like baking bread, everything's clean, put away. That's affecting me a different way. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think you should clean up your house before the appraiser comes. If you can. Like, if at all possible. If you're just having a busy week.
If you're going to get ready to do a remodel, maybe talk to an experienced agent or hire an appraiser to come in and do a personal appraisal.
Yeah.
Because you want to, like he just said, it compares to what the comparables are. If you're going to upgrade to a level 1, but you have no level 1 homes that are in the area.
This is a huge problem.
You're now the unicorn that has the hibachi grill that you can't get any of that stuff up. But if the neighborhood had hibachi grills, now you have actual comparables that you could, in theory, do. Yeah.
I've seen this, like, I've had people install wool carpet, and not just the standard countertops, but the super nice ones. Mm-hmm. Everything to the nth degree. Like, this is a freaking temple. And the problem is now they have no comparables. They'll do this on new construction too, and if the builder knows what he's doing, he'll say, hold on. Like, how much do you have cash? How much are you paying for this? Because there's no way it'll appraise. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Do you have amazing carpet from sheep that were named and trimmed by the owners? Yes.
In Italy?
Yeah, right? Like this is amazing. Yes, it's worth it. Can you sell it for this? Not a chance.
Yeah.
So, like, give us a brief idea of what, like, a Q1 is.
A Q1, okay, so Q1 is probably, like, a lot of people would call it a mansion. But it's probably got some very ornate roof lines. It's very decorative on the outside.
So you're higher end, like Parade of Homes.
Higher end Parade of Homes. It's not just a flat front to the house. It's got some staggering. Like, it costs. You can tell that it costs more to build this house. It's got a wing that juts out to the side. Right? It's not just a box house. Like, these are ornate homes. You'll see double floor ceiling heights, like stuff like that, or even 10 foot to 12 foot on the main level type of ceilings. You'll see really high end finishes, like the highest end finishes. So when I'm appraising a home with, like, to the 9s, I want all my comps to be to the 9s. So a lot of times I am, if you're in Alpine or you're in the River Bottoms or really wherever there's going to be a Q1 home, you're probably going to go out, you're going to expand your search for comps to a bigger radius to include enough neighborhoods that also have Q1 sales. So when I'm appraising a Q1 home, my comps are 2, 3, 4, 10 miles away sometimes. like just depending on which.
What's typical? Typically, you want your comps within
typically a mile.
Okay.
If the lender, if your underwriter could get what they want, they'd say, I want all my comps within 90 days, sold within 90 days, and within a mile. That would be like heaven for them.
That's good information to know, though.
Yeah.
Well, and then the same type of home too.
Yeah, same type of home. But the reality is not that. Like, you're typically expanding a parameter, distance in time, distance in proximity. You're expanding something.
Difference in
to
age.
Include more sales.
Because you're limited to really a changing inventory over the course of the last 90 days to 12 months or whatever, right?
Well, I mean, you look. So today we're filming this in August of 2021, and you look at just since December till now what the market's done. Like, yeah, it's ridiculous. So I mean, I don't even want to use a comp from January. I don't even want to use a comp from April if I can.
It's a different market.
But
a different market.
That's only 4 months ago. But I mean, sometimes I still have to. But
actually brings up a really good question that I actually fielded earlier this week. Somebody asked me, well, what do the appraisers do to account for the crazy runaway of the seller market right now?
Oh yeah,
is there the seller market premium that you're putting in there? Well, how do you account for that?
Because like a lot of people argue, the value of a home is what is agreed upon between a buyer and a seller.
Yeah.
But that's what the way that I've always explained that is, well, that's what they may agree upon if they were paying cash.
Yeah, but they're using his money.
Him into it.
Yeah.
He goes, Joel, can you check this out for me?
Give me your opinion of value.
Yeah.
Third party, because you don't work.
16,000 files. Okay.
Yeah.
Versus, I like this home. I like this home too.
Yeah. And I'm the seller, and it's a Q1.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So there is no premium.
Okay, so how do I make up for it? So a lot of appraisers, and unfortunately this is the truth, aren't really doing a good job at making up for it. I mean, if they can't find comps that have closed within the past 90 days, they're not making market time adjustments. And that's really what the lender wants to see. Like, lenders are asking me, hey, comment on your market time adjustments. So like they're even hinting, hey, do this. Freddie Mac just made a publication saying, adjust for time. Like, you should be adjusting for time. Like, and you need to quantify how you did it, but as long as you quantified, explained it, we're good.
So you've got values going like this.
So I can have a home, like, let's say the best comp sold in December. Well, I might make an $80,000 time adjustment, because that's the reality of this market, right?
So you're extrapolating based on some data. For sure. Extrapolating into the unknown and saying, I think based on this information, it's got an $80,000 premium.
I think from December till now, the market's done this, and when I apply that to this comp I'm going to adjust at $80,000. Comp 2, I'm going to adjust at $40,000 because it only sold 3 months ago.
Gotcha.
Comp 1 just sold last month. I'm not going to make any adjustments for that one, right? So it just depends on what, like, that's what a good appraiser is doing. And there's a lot of good appraisers.
How do you know if you got a good appraiser or a bad appraiser?
Well, no. So if you look at an appraisal and they have a comp from December and their adjustment for time is $5,000, that's probably, and you're mad at the values low, you probably have a point. And that's, a lot of people are hiring me right now to contest appraisals and help them. And
that's going to be a fun
and that's, it's almost always, I'm seeing that the appraisers aren't adjusting for what the market's done over the past couple months. And so when I write a really clean rebuttal for them to submit to their lender, and they report back to me, and over half the time we're getting significant adjustments made. Sometimes we're getting at least some adjustment made, and a couple of times you get appraisers who just put their foot down and say, I'm not changing anything. And that's the mentality of some appraisers. So but I mean, the data I have to show how much the market's like improving, and when they say, oh, it's improving at 0.5% a month, like it's improving at like, in some months it's been like 6%, but like over the past year you were looking at 25 to 30% over the past year, and increase in value.
So that 6% is in a month.
Could
right?
be.
Like, yeah. So I think
in some of these crazy months, like you'll see a neighborhood where 2 sales were at 500 and then the next 2 sales were at 580, and you're like,
apparently this was an $80,000 month.
Yeah. Average appreciation's 3 or 4%. Just on average over time. Annually. Annually. So that's a huge 6% a month. That's huge.
30% for the year is ridiculous. It's a crazy year. I anticipate it won't be that much this year.
Or I guess buyers actually might say, well, That seems very subjective. That seems like it's whatever appraisal you get that day, or appraiser you get that day, is who's going to determine your value, and they may or may not be good at time adjustment.
Well, one of the things that I know we've done, and I know some other agents have done it, is like what he's saying, the data that he's pulling is the same data that agents have access to. And a good agent, when they go and give you a value of the home of, hey, this is what we recommend that you should list this home at, it's not, well, it shouldn't be a number they just pull out of their pocket and just say, oh, well, or ask you, well, what do you want to list your home at? Well, if you're asking them, then they should just list it without you.
Yes.
But an agent can go through and look at all the statistics, and they can look at the data, and they can see, okay, this area over the last 4 years has done this, and this consistently. And in this last 6 months, it's done like what he just said. So now when we list that, and then we can provide some of that info when we go to argue, say with an appraiser who didn't adjust it, we show them that it's evidence right there, and we can back that up. But if you don't have anything to back up because you asked the homeowner what they should sell the home for, and then you get mad at an appraiser who didn't do their job, not the appraiser.
Well, the other thing to do is check with your lender, because lenders can't handpick their appraiser. They can't say, I can't say, hey, Joel, appraise this house for me. I need to get a loan on it. Because what used to happen is a crooked lender would say, hey, Joel, I need this house to appraise for $800,000, or I'm not paying you.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. So right now, the lenders will have a pool of approved appraisers, and they'll send that out, and they say, hey, we need an appraisal done. Who wants to pick it up? And an appraiser will pick it up. So make sure that that lender has vetted good appraisals. So they're not handpicking which one is going to get yours, but they should have a good group that they can trust that know what they're doing.
And you guys really do have a good group. Like, you guys have curated your panel really well. I'm on it.
So they win the best. But like, actually, really, we're the best. There's a few lenders that do it, but make sure that, because they can have established relationships, they can make sure that the appraiser does a good job. When the rule came out in 2015, there was a lot of appraisal management companies that just said, hey, we need appraisers on our team, hired them. And I've seen appraisals from that, and it's just like, what are these guys doing? Which is why you're reviewing appraisals, right?
Yeah.
Well, guys, what did we learn today?
Well, I learned, my key takeaway is that if you're going to remodel something, kitchen and bathroom is where you want to spend your dollars.
It's important to remember that what you put in your kitchen and bathroom or the rest of your house matters.
And remember that you should remodel to what your comps could be. So if you plan to sell, look at what's around your area. What'd you learn, Joel?
I learned that sometimes people do silly stuff that don't make a lot of sense.
Sometimes.
Like hibachi grills?
Yeah, hibachi.
16,000 homes. I'm sure you have seen a couple.
Seen a few weird ones.
Cool. Thanks.
So the next time you're thinking about adding a jacuzzi in your living room, let's talk.
Hit me up if you ever have any appraisal questions on Twitter at JustAskJoel.
If you want to get in touch with us, shoot us a text at 801-228-7687. Make sure you mention the show. You can email us at theutahrealestateshow@gmail.com. You can watch this show on YouTube, and you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you learned something, or if you really love this show, give us a like on YouTube and drop a rating on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. The Utah Real Estate Show is a production of Hive Collective at Presidio Real Estate, with support from Security Home Mortgage. The NMLS number for Security Home Mortgage is 178787. The NMLS number for Jason Christiansen is 240472, Equal Housing Lender. Not only is this not legal or investment advice, but you should definitely talk to a pro before you make any real estate decision. Every situation is different and should be considered in context. Copyright Jason Christiansen, Eric Wist, and Tyler Kazare. All rights reserved. Talk to you next week.
I was about to say your magnificent chest, but that sounds...
He's the A.
You saw that in the last closing.
The last out?
The last
closing?
Last closing.
The last closing table Eric was at, he was topless. All right, that's good.
Okay.